All right, welcome back. Whitlock and Wiley, LeVar Arrington and Stanford Router back. Let's return to the NFL. Sponsored by the Capital One Venture Card. What's in your wallet? All right, let's move to a guy who can't seem to stop talking, Mark Cuban, who was asked this week about the differences between the NBA and the NFL and had a lot to say about how and why the league's marketing strategies are so different.
Sells the NFL. The NBA sells its players, right? The NFL markets the NFL. The NBA markets its players, and players drive who we are in the NBA. Like I said earlier, you couldn't identify 90% of NFL players if they were standing right in front of you. That's a big part of their core problem. If you look at the NBA, the social media followings of NFL players, it's not that big, right? I mean, I don't even know who the largest is in the NFL, but, what do they have? They probably have fewer followers than I do on Twitter. And so that's an issue for NFL players. And I'm thinking it's by design from the NFL because that's what gives them more leverage.
It's also what makes football a better business and more popular, generates more money. It's not a problem. It's actually a strength of the NFL. Mark, they got a big problem. They don't have the Twitter followers that we have. Y'all don't have the viewers, the season ticket holders, the jersey sale. Stop it, Mark Cuban. 90% of the guys in the NFL we wouldn't recognize. 90% of his team people wouldn't recognize if they wasn't 6'8". I mean, get real. And so this is what kills me about this concept. The media loves to throw a mic in somebody's face. Here, talk dirt on the NFL and tell us how much better basketball is. But they can never back it up with ratings, revenue generation, passion, any of it. But oh my God, LeBron's got 30 million Twitter followers. NBA's better. Is that the scoreboard is Twitter now?
Ooh, Whitlock, you backed it up with passion. I must say that. Damn. You gonna tag me in? Or you gonna just handle this on your own? I'm on the top rope ready to jump in. And I'm gonna jump in with Mark Cuban because I actually agree with him. And no, you're right and he's right, but here's the real. Learned this from my player rep experience, 9 of my 10 years, NFLPA going to Hawaii every year. The NFL, markets the shield.
The shield.
Then they protect the uniform. And they don't prioritize the individual. And one thing, one incident, one rule change really highlights it. The Emmitt Smith rule. Y'all remember that? 1997. Emmitt used to get in the end zone, and he got in the end zone a lot.
Right on off.
Trying to get his NBA on. See my face?
Yep.
And he was benefiting and benefiting. And the NBA was sitting there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, the NBA sits there and is like, that's what we already do. That's status quo over here. And Emmitt was doing that, and then NFL sat back and said, these marketing deals are starting to go individual instead of through us collectively. We may have to stop that. And boom, there's the Emmitt Smith rule. Why do I understand the NFL's business practice and I respect it like you? Because what it does is make sure that you can grab any player from Tom Brady on down and rotate, rinse, and repeat that guy. So from Joe Montana with the days when he was retired, Steve Young. Oh, no, who was going? Tom Brady's gonna retire. Guess what? Patrick Mahomes. Like, they're gonna rotate, rinse, and repeat. That's the NFL's way. But Cuban does have an astute point, like he was in Hawaii with us. Because the NFL said, we're not even trying to hide it. We made a rule against it.
True.
This is the way we roll.
That is true.
And I think, to your point, Marcellus, you alluded to it perfectly, that for Mark Cuban to say everything that he just said, I understand the point that he's trying to make, but from a proximity and just from a systematic standpoint, that's where I think that it's very disingenuous for him to make that, simply because we can all tell that NBA players, they're more marketable because guess what? They don't have a face mask around their face.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's easy to see him.
Yeah.
And then when you go to the global aspect of it, I can't tell you how many times I've been overseas or just in another country, and I got to actually put American football on whenever I talk about college football, NFL, things like that. So people are easily able to relate to the NBA because basketball is played in every country in the world. It's right up there along with soccer. And then lastly, I think that a lot of people also have to remember that we can go to any gym, rec center, you can see guys running up and down the court, 5-on-5. Simply doing it just for exercise, stress relief. It's therapeutic. But let me ask you this. Are you ever going to see on a field somewhere NFL guys playing 7-on-7, 11-on-11, and it's not something that is team mandated or organized just for therapeutic reasons, just for stress relief, or just simply just being just recreationally. So whenever you go and you see up there in New York, NBA players doing 5-on-5 up there at the gym, they do that just because it's exercise and it's stress relief. It's therapeutic for them. But NFL players, you'll never see that.
I think another point to add to the discussion would be, you're talking about marketing and branding 5 guys. In basketball, you play offense and you play defense. There is no special teams, right? But in football, you have special teams, you have offense, and you have defense, and there is a different unit. There is a different unit for each special teams. Kickoff return. Punt,
hands
punt
team.
Return, hands team, right? Onside team.
There's a third down defense.
All different. There's a second down. There's nickel, there's dime, there's penny. So when you're talking about not knowing, if you're going to throw that out there, I mean, you have the same situation in baseball. I wouldn't know a baseball player if I saw him. Yeah, I really wouldn't.
Okay.
So the reality of it is I'm going to take the popularity of what the sport is, and because social media is where it is right now, those marketing dollars that the NFL is coming up with rules with and doing all these different things to try to maintain that, I'm still going to make sure that I get my piece of it.
Let me enlighten everyone. Tim Ellis, the NFL just made a hire last year of Tim Ellis. They've heard what Mark Cuban was saying, because Tim Ellis comes from a background of marketing Guitar Hero, Call of Duty, getting the younger fans and people involved and engaged. So they understand they even have a problem. They're turning the corner on this issue of marketing the individual. We'll see.
Problem to me is a big word. You know, the NBA would love to have the NFL's $15 billion problem. Would love to have that. And so if I'm getting my butt kicked in revenue, in rating, in relevance, the NFL is the #1 show on 5 different television networks. If I'm getting my butt kicked all them you know what? I'm going to move the scoreboard to Twitter. Let's go to Twitter and make that the scoreboard. We win at Twitter. Good luck with that. Coming up, we'll give you our latest approval ratings for Ezekiel Elliott. And Uncle Jimmy will tell us if Zeke actually gets the contract he wants. Next!